Hey everyone, welcome to my technology integration project. Here I'm going to walk you guys through the lesson plan that I've created, the learning theories that we're going to use, and then the actual presentation so that you guys have an idea of how this will play out in real life. As I've said a few times, I'm in HR, so I actually designed this project as a lesson for new employees. We'll use it in new employee onboarding, just to kind of get them used to using technology to communicate. Within our workplace, we have a lot of collaboration amongst teams, and we have remote offices. So we'll start here with the lesson here. The unit is called Utilizing Effective Technology Communication in the Workplace. I kind of focused on two main learning theories. The first is Vygotsky's social constructivism. So within the project, we'll do a lot of collaboration, group discussion, and problem-based learning. It's really a social thing because we are trying to promote internal communication because it's absolutely necessary for what we do in our company. The second learning theory we kind of use is Pappert's constructionist theory. In this theory, we're kind of more getting people in the zone to actually do it. So they're the ones playing with the apps. They're coming up with their own ideas. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just, did you do this effectively or did you not do this effectively? So they're promoting problem solving skills, how they can fix the problem, things like that. So we have 4 objectives within the course. They're going to practice using proper and effective communication, identify different ways to communicate using technology, demonstrate collaboration skills, and utilize technology to create and effectively complete a project as a team. So the reason I decided to do this is because internal communication is vital for the success of any business. We want people to know how to do that. As technology just really elevates itself, we see more communication via chats, communication via email, things like that. So in this project, we're going to utilize all of that, and for the most part, that's going to be the only form of communication that the students use, is using this technology. Just because like I said, we do have remote offices, we have people on tight schedules, so having ongoing access to this communication and being able to just share ideas and go about it in a way that uses technology is really efficient for us. So this lesson will take a full day of training, so an 8-hour training session with the instructor presentation being about an hour long. 30 minutes of that is made up of a video that they'll watch regarding the technology that we're using. So we are using YouTube as one of the technology sources within our presentation, just because it's easier for them to understand. I think hearing it from other people and having those videos there kind of breaks it up there. For 3 hours, it would actually be the students working on the project. And I gave them 3 hours just because they aren't communicating in person. With normal projects, there will be some communication in person, but for this specific unit, there's not going to be. So they needed that extra time to complete the project. Lunch is about an hour and a half, in which we do promote more internal communication, because internal communication can be formal and informal. So the students getting together for lunches and talking about the strengths and weaknesses in this project will be really beneficial to our review and to the completion of the project. After lunch, that's when the projects will be presented. And I slot it for an hour and a half. We usually have bigger training classes, and they're in groups of 5. So this could be anywhere from like 5 to 10 presentations. So And then we'll also do a review of the training just to get their takeaways, get any feedback to what we could do better, any feedback to the technology that we are currently using and how we could kind of implement that better. Or even things like how we could help them more or guide them more throughout the process. So the equipment that you'll need for this project, you'll need a computer with a projector to actually present the PowerPoint presentation. So the teacher's presentation is in a PowerPoint form. You'll need computers with internet access so that they can use the technology that we use. You want an employee handbook just because there is a lot of communication going on, and so we want to make sure that we keep that etiquette, keep that employee etiquette in the workplace. Each of the employees/students, whatever you want to call them, they should have a laptop. Their laptops, they don't have to have these programs. They need to have Microsoft Office installed on there if that's something that they would want to use for the project, and I'll go on about that. But they just need to have internet access to use the majority of these projects, of these applications that we use. There are a few handouts that we'll give out to the students just so that they know what's going on. And you'll have your PowerPoint with the presentation notes, which I've added notes to the presentation, but you can add your own notes after you review everything. The technology we use, I'm sorry, we're no longer using Skype, so let me delete that. We are going to use the Quip application, and it can be downloaded on the computer, or you can use the website to access, and all of the students should have it set up before actually going into the training. So that's something you'll have to do on the front end, is make sure that they do have their accounts and they do know their logins. And there's a YouTube video, like I said, it's a Quip keynote, so it talks about the strengths of Quip, the importance of collaboration, and things like that. And then there's a note-taking guide that I've created for the students to just kind of follow along in the lecture. So you'll kind of start with like a pre-lesson. A group discussion about the different forms of technology. So we do kind of hit on all of the resources that we have for technology and communication in the workplace. You'll want to ask the following questions just to kind of hammer in on the importance of these technology applications for collaboration. So you'll want to ask the following questions. What if you can't coordinate with everyone in person or a virtual meeting? What if communication get lost in phone calls? How effective is ongoing group emails? And how do you keep up with live updates in email? How often do people check their emails? And how do you double check what your duties are and communicate the status of your duties when working in team collaborations to your whole team? Prior to the lesson, you want to make sure all of your ducks are in a row. Your YouTube presentation is working. It's embedded in the PowerPoint, but I've also attached a link if that is not working for you, so you can just go to the website. So you want to introduce the objectives, hand out the note-taking guide, introduce the PowerPoint using the notes and everything. And at the end of that PowerPoint, before we get into the actual project, there is a discussion you want to go through just to make sure people are understanding, taking away the objectives that we saw to communicate in this training. So discuss the topic, write down your thoughts, make real world connections to the lesson, and discuss how this information will help them in their careers. So for the actual group collaboration, you want to divide the class into groups of 5. Like I said, again, this is kind of like the Vygotsky's social constructionism. So they are going to be working in groups and using each of their skills that they've taken from their college experiences, from their prior jobs, and using those skills to actually get together and do this project. So they will be doing that together. So they're going to be creating 4 business documents. They're going to create a sales invoice, a business card, a retail flyer, and actually create an email to send to a client. So the main technology part of this is that they're only going to be allowed 10 minutes to discuss in person. After that, all communication must be done using the application that we've decided to use within our company. It's big. It makes technology the main focus of the project. They are still having to communicate, but it's in a form that a lot of people aren't used to in the workplace. I know we use social media every day in our personal lives, but this is taking it to the next level and putting it in a workplace and learning how to use it more effectively for business communication specifically. So within the Quip application, there are no templates like in Word or Office, but you can upload files. So if you want to upload those templates to your group, you can do that. We'll also encourage them to use an application called Canva to create the documents. It's actually a website, and it has like templates there. They would be able to then upload those into Quip. So those are the big things that we're using here. And each group, there's just going to be 2 fictitious companies that they decide to design the documents for. And then the documents will be presented by each group. They will go up and present them live in person. Your job throughout the project is just to make sure that the students stay focused and provide any assistance, any questions they have regarding using the application if you can, and then also encourage them to seek their own understanding of the application, seek their own little tips and tricks that they can use in that, because that's honestly what we do in our real world jobs. Like, we figure it out. At the end of the lesson, we'll review all the objectives and allow questions and class discussion, check for understanding all over again. And the documents will also be presented to the class. And we have a rubric for creating effective documents. So I'll kind of just start with the PowerPoint presentation here. Okay, so here's our presentation, our PowerPoint presentation that we'll be using. We'll just start off with communication and technology skills in the workplace. We have a quote here: communication, the human connection, is the key to personal and career success. I'm not going to read through all of this with you, because the PowerPoint with the notes will be in the files here, so you can go through that, but I'll just kind of click through we have the objectives here, which we've already discussed. Then we just have, I start off with what is internal communication, because I do want to have the students understand what it is that we're doing. I have another quote here. You can read it yourselves. Then we just kind of go through the definitions, unofficial and official communication, and then we do some like what communication is and what it's not. And there are notes within the presentation that will help you kind of discuss that. So this kind of gives students a visual representation to kind of follow along with your lecture. Of course, we have the forms of communication that the students will discuss. We'll actually go through and have them rank these and how they would prefer to use them, just because I think it's a good activity. Just kind of know what works for them. And then also at the end of the presentation, I think it would be good to review this again, so to see if they really understand how the collaborative applications can help them and how effective they are. Here we just talk about the importance of internal communication. Again, this is communication in general. All communication is going to be important, but for this, the most effective use of communication of our time for our company is going to be within this application. We talk about what needs to be communicated, so they kind of know what's acceptable to put in that QUIP application, what needs to be put in those, and how to just communicate within your team. This is the video. Taking a minute to load. Like I said, it's a 30-minute video, so we're not going to sit here and watch the whole video. The link has been provided. Do expect everyone to review the video. Review the video before you actually do the lesson. Obviously, you want to review everything to make sure it fits within your presentation, and that you understand what's going on. So you'll definitely want to watch that keynote from the Dreamforce meeting. It's really awesome content, and it just kind of helps better understand why it's so important. At the end of, this is kind of the end of the presentation, we're going to have a group discussion. In the lesson plan guide, there is a series of questions that I told you guys you want to ask, just to make sure that the students are understanding and that we can move on to the group project. And we talked about the project guidelines, so we won't go over that again, but they're here. The students will have those to follow along with. And like I said, we have a note-taking guide that will be accessible, should be printed out for the students. Okay, so this is the actual QUIP application that we use for work. This is in the workplace. So on the application, there are different folders that you can have with different groups. You can assign different people to different groups. So I'm just going to kind of click one that's not actual information, because it's my actual job. So this is like a schedule for donuts, for example. So here you actually have the conversation here on the side where you can see who made edits. This is a calendar here, so you can see who's making edits to the document. You could actually add notes, you can share, you can hide the conversation, and then you can actually add a note if you wanted to Bethany bringing the donuts. You can tag her in it so she gets the notification. You can sync this to your calendar. There's just so much that you can do within this application. Let's see if we can go back to something else, like a document. So you'll see we'll have a lot of documents. So, for example, this is just an out-of-office email that someone kind of constructed. And here, we can hide the conversation again. We can insert different things, different images here within this document. You can block quotes. You can make a checklist in there. Just different things like that. And I'm also going to show you guys the web application that I actually just made a folder for a project here. And I actually uploaded the lesson guide from the information that I showed you, just to show how you can kind of upload, to show how you can upload things. So here we have your upload. You can go to whatever folders that you need to go to upload, like a note-taking guide, and that will upload here. And from here, different people can share it. You can add people, manage the access of it. Yeah, show your conversations here. Add little notes. So if I wanted to, I can add a comment. I love this. Little emoji. Send that. And now the comment will show up here. You'll also see the notes show up here where you have what we did here. If I wanted to, I can insert a checklist within this document as well. So we'll have our checklist at the bottom. And this is where you could actually add people. You can add the people who you're in the group with. You can link back to other spreadsheets or anything like that. So it makes it really cool. People can comment and mark off when it's done. So it's just a really interactive experience. And like I said, over here to the side, it keeps an update of that. So it's an ongoing, the document is updated in real time. You can remind someone that they need to do this, put it on their calendar if you like. So the other application that we'll be using is Canva. So Canva is actually just a website where you can create designs. And it's really cool because they have templates that you can use. They have free templates, which we'll encourage everyone to use, but they also have paid templates. So this is just the flyers that you can share. Comes with a preset. Probably shouldn't use cocktails at work, but let's say you were. You can edit these, edit the pictures, edit the text. You can upload text, so you'll see, to upload fonts, I'm sorry. You'll see some of the fonts that I've uploaded before, so that you can change those and customize those. You can get free fonts from like Google Fonts and things like that and use those in the website to upload everything. From here, you can actually share these files as well. So you'll just have to enter an email address, and then people can actually edit your files within it, and it'll update in real time as well. And if you go here, you would see that we had shared designs here. I don't have any, but you can create your own kits if you'd like. Want to do color schemes and things like that. It's really, really awesome. So yeah, those are the two websites we're going to be really using. This is one that I just like downloaded earlier from one of the templates, and you can upload those as well into Quip. So say this is the download that I use. I can actually just take it over here. Come over to Quip. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not even in the right spot. I can upload or import and drag it on over. Come back. Drag that there. And it'll actually upload this PDF here for people to view. But like I said, you can use either Canva or Quip to actually share these documents. I like using Quip because of the conversation feature. I think that that's really cool. But yeah, whichever one they want to use, it'll work fine. They'd figure it out. So that's the project. If you have any questions, any feedback, I would really appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time to review this.